So this is the second part of the hinge tutorial, and it's basically a tutorial on how to fix a mess up. So if you were to zoom into here and look, you can actually see that I've got a gap on here so that the hinge can swing, but I realized afterwards that when I did my math and stuff that here, these two lines, it's kind of hard to see when I put over top, but basically they're overlapping each other. So there's no way this is going to hinge, so I got to fix that. So what I'm going to do, and also I'm going to show you how I would take a bit of material out of here so that it'll actually hinge smoother. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom part right here. I'm going to click on it once, right mouse click, open, and I'm going to simply fix where I messed up. So I'm going to take this part right here, okay, which is my extrude, okay, and I'm going to right mouse click, go edit definition, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to change this down to point, I don't know, let's say 2.6. Okay, so I'm actually just going to take a bit more material off of it, hit OK, and hit the check mark, and then save it. And now when I close it, you can see back that I actually have a gap now. So that actually might hinge this time around. Okay. The second part of this is I'm just going to take a bit of material out so that the bottom actually can hinge a bit. So I'm going to, again, right mouse click on this one, open. Okay, and what you can see is I've got this part here that can be removed a bit more. So to do this, I'm going to select this side. I'm going to click on extrude and go into 2D. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to actually use this outside circle as the reference. So I'm going to click on the circle tool, hold the Alt key down, click on this, and now I can actually draw my my circle of the material I'm going to remove. So I'm actually going to do this twofold. I'm going to show you a couple little things that you can do. So I'm going to click on the first circle, and I'm going to create a second one. Okay, so click on it, and out I go. I'm just take a little bit off. Okay, now you can see I don't know what the inside diameter of the circle is, so I just go to normal, click on this, center scroll, and I'm going to get rid of this constraints. And I know that the inside one is 0.13. Hit enter. And oh, that's my diameter, so that's 0.26. Sorry, that's radius. That's diameter is 0.26, and that's 0.28. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's 0.1 basically, or 0.01 difference all the way around. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit it. I could leave it like this, but I'm just going to show you an editing tool. So I'm going to draw a line now on here, and I'm going to go across this here. Hit the center mouse button to get rid of the line. I'm going to hold the Alt key down, so I get a reference line there, and I'm going to click across. Okay. Now, when I actually do this and select OK, I get all this different stuff. There's a problem here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove or delete segments. Okay. I'm going to click on the delete segment, and I don't need this stuff. I don't need this stuff. I don't need here. What I'm left with now is the part that I actually want. So when I go select, you can see now that it's actually changed color. Okay. And if you look, I actually did mess up because it's actually not on the line that I wanted. So I'm just going to put another circle in here, okay, and actually get it to where I want, which is right there, snapped. Okay, and you can see that I have a gap, so I'm just going to go back and fix this up to here. Okay, and fix this one to here, and then go back to delete segment, and I'm going to delete that bit, delete that bit. Let's go back out again. Delete that, delete that, delete that. And when I hit select now, there's my bit or piece that I want to take out. Okay, so now I just hit OK, put it in drag it over on an angle. You can see that I've gone the wrong way, so I'm going to reverse it, remove material. I've gone too far, so I know this is 0.26. Okay, so I go that far, click OK, and I'm just going to turn the datum plane on, or the plane display, and then all I'm going to do is mirror that bit, because it's highlighted already, mirror it across this plane, select OK, and you can see that it's taking the chunk out over there. So I'm just going to save this, OK, close it, and now you can see that I actually have some space now. So that would be a pretty floppy hinge. Okay, so I've got enough spaces in there. Maybe the last one I might want to do is on this piece, right mouse click, open, and again, there's this section right here that why don't I take a bit of a bit out of it. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to work on this surface right here, Okay, let me just click somewhere else for a second. That surface there, extrude. Oops, didn't get it, so I'll pick that one now. Okay, and this one would be hard to work on from a flat on, so I'm going to work on it on an angle here. Do a circle. I'll do it a different way this time. Alt key to pick out the outside of that. So I'll pick the center of it. Okay, and you can see it picking it. Click to it. There's my first one. Oops. Grab the second one, and I'm going to do that one just 0.01 a bit bigger. Okay, so this time I know what the number is, so I'm just going to click it here. So 0.26. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this time. Hit OK. Now I got myself a tube. Okay, I know my tube is 0.5 long, and I'm going to remove the material. Okay, and all it does is just remove this a little bit bigger. It didn't touch anything else. Okay, click on OK, and I'll save it. And now when I close it off, you can see that I actually have space underneath there. Okay, and you know, it's all there. Right, so that actually helps me out a bit better, and you know, I'm just trying to get a good view of the other one. So there's a hole there, right there. You can see it right in there. There's a gap now. Okay, so that's basically the end of the hinge. This is basically just a tutorial on how to make a hinge. You know, you might have to vary the dimensions on that a bit, but I would test print one. So the whole intent of this tutorial is that you would actually go and test print this out to Makerware. And if you haven't done it yet, it's pretty straightforward. So first off, I'm going to save the model. Okay, then I'm just going to, so I'll just get this to Makerware right now. I'll go File, I'll go Save As. Down here, it's not an assembly, it's a stereolithography file, an STL file. Okay, and it says Final Hinge. I've got one in there already, so I'm going to just name another one. So I'll call it number 2. Okay, under here, the only thing I do in Export STL is where it's highlighted right now, you just put 0. The program automatically fills in what the chord height is going to be. Okay, and you hit Apply, and my computer all of a sudden just jammed up on me, and this is not good. And a fatal error. So I'm going to end this tutorial right here, and we'll have to catch up on the next part.